All right, is this thing on? Do I still remember how to do this? Hey guys, my name is Hagen from Lettuce Comics, and I'm joined, as always, by Nate from Hollyak Comics and Big, Biggie Shack, and this is the Sunday morning comic book hangover show. How are you guys doing?
You got it. Doing great, man. Welcome back, Hagen.
Yeah, thanks. First order of
Biggie,
business.
how are you? Can you see?
Do everybody's glasses work? Are all of our glasses whole and intact?
Okay, so mine are working.
Mine are as well.
Like 2 seconds before we go live, mine just blew like explosion. I don't know what happened, dude. I was just like barely touching them, and the stem fell off, or whatever you want to call it. So
well, you're over there barely touching your glasses. We need to address the chat because you guys were here and going for it pretty early. So
early. Early.
K Munin, you have the honor of being first. Hello, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
And we've got Mark from Mark's Issues with Archie.
Mark.
Our friend Matt from Impressed. Hey, bud. And John from John's Comics with Friends, as well as Himbo. Eric, still waiting on that first video, buddy.
Called out.
And Condition Not Considered. Hey, man, how are you doing?
Chris.
Doug in here as well. And Rich. I haven't checked in with you recently, buddy. I hope you're doing better.
I saw him last night. And then there's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, lots of back and forth.
You guys are talking about all of it.
I see Derek in there. Hey, dude.
What's up, brother?
We've got Just Michael. I was waiting for you.
Mm-hmm. There
John.
is JSS. Good to see you, John.
If I miss anybody, please let me know. We've got Brian, local comic stud.
That he is.
And Matt from Matt Likes Comics.
Yeah, someone I know. Yeah, cool.
There you go.
Buddy. And Canadian Survivalist.
No, Canadian.
As well.
Second Floor Comics. Hey, man, how are you?
Oui.
And last but certainly not least, Dead Man Comic Cover Show. Hey, buddy.
Yep. Terry from England. How you doing, dude? Well, Biggie, you are our guest today, and you are a known quantity around comic book YouTube. Something of a colorful character. I don't see it, but I've been told. I want to start with, how long have you been making comic book YouTube videos? How long has that been a thing for you?
Sorry, still waking up. Comic YouTube videos. Man, probably about going on 9 years, I guess.
That's insane.
I mean, it started off with hauls. We all weren't really together like we are now, you know what I mean? So it was just like you showed your little haul and you talked in the background. So there's other comic videos from before then, a couple, but probably about 8 years, I think, at least. And it kind of picked up around 6 years ago, I think, to where Google Hangouts let us all be on panel together. And that was very exciting for me. I was like, I'd watch a video and I'd see the chat going. I'm like, wait, hold on. You could see my comment and read it right now, just like that's crazy, and then it was, oh, we could be together at the same time during this thing. And I'm like, what? And, and of course my electronics had to catch up at the beginning. I was pretty much using a potato, and but yeah, it was very fun. A whole lot of fun. It was Walking Dead for me, I think. It was before Walking Dead around there. So, shit, that's been almost 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
For sure. Well, it's wild to me because I didn't, as a viewer of YouTube, which I've always watched a lot of YouTube, but the comic book stuff never really came up much for me. And so it's wild to me how long some of you guys have been doing this, because I mean, Hagen and I are babies. We started around the same time. So 8 years is a lot. And you talked about how much you like, the chat part of it, the interactivity. And that's what, even though you and I have streamed a couple times together, I feel like we have this Venn diagram of people we know, where our overlap of people we know is bigger than our own personal, interactivity. But everybody that I talk to, so Chonko and Matt and Alan, it's always about how you will talk with anybody and hang out with anybody and invite anybody on your show, that you're kind of this community ambassador. What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of love for the chat, so it kind of starts there. Like, I see a chat member say something funny, I'm like, oh, that guy gets it. That guy's pretty funny or whatever. And it kind of grows from there, I guess. I don't know, but I saw my boy Comic Head 84, and he kind of ushered me in a little bit. So it was very exciting when I first met him, because I thought, like, he's kind of clean, polished, and his channel was pretty cool to me. Like, he seemed kind of artsy or whatever. I don't know, but for me, like, it's not an option. It's like, I always give people a shot, and even if I don't really think we vibe much, I'll still see how it goes, because I've met some pretty cool people personally that I didn't think I would like, and we end up being really good friends and get some really good interactions. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange to see after a while, like a few of the guys, like, I've kind of asked to come on to a live stream. I'd be like, I just want to see what kind of books you got. I just would like to talk to you, or, just hop on a live stream every now and then if you don't care. And usually people are like open to the idea. Like, it's about a 50-50, some people will and some people won't. And some of the people that do, they end up starting YouTube channels, and they start doing more things than that. And I'm very proud of some of the guys that I've kind of asked and have kind of stuck around a little bit. I feel like a few of the guys we may not see or know as much if that wouldn't have happened, because if you see a person on a live stream, you feel a little bit more connected to them than as opposed to the chat, I guess. So yeah, I can name off a bunch, but I ain't no need to do that. But yeah, an ambassador, I don't know. I've just been here for a little too longer than most people. And I've actually done YouTube like years before comics. So it started off with Tekken and Transformers for about 9 years before that. This is like the second half of another whole thing. So,
well, I was going to ask, because obviously you have a love of wrestling. I've also seen you do some gaming on your channel. So, sorry, excuse me. I was going to ask if you had started your YouTube with comic books, or if you had started with, I've seen quite a few people who've started with something else and then realized that comics was a little more inviting or more their speed, and that's where they kind of, tacked over. So you started with gaming?
Yeah, started with the game called Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection on PS3. I was completely fine with just playing people online, and then I saw someone else post a video of them fighting me on Tekken, and I was like, that felt like get into my private life, I was like, oh my God, you could just post my fight just because you fought me. I was just like, I mean, it was cool, but it was just like, I want to be able to represent myself better than that,
Right.
So,
oh yeah,
I don't want the only
my-
footage of me on the internet to be me losing.
yeah,
My- I would always see like Overwatch clips of like watch me own this guy, and I'm like, oh shit, that's me, isn't it? Like I was sure it would be me.
I was like, this ain't gonna be my only shred of Tekken evidence of me losing to whoever that was, So,
Right.
I'm not that very good with computers, so I asked my girlfriend. It was actually for my birthday, and I said, all I want for my birthday is a YouTube account. Like, I want to be able to post on YouTube. And she got me one, and my first video was me just like introducing myself in a wife beater shirt or whatever you want to call it. And I said this would be about Tekken and Lei Wulong and Transformers, and I'm a Shaq fan and I'm a Biggie fan, and it all came from Tekken, yeah. And the Tekken fighting scene was a lot of fun, but yeah, just a lot of Tekken. I still play Tekken this day, so I just love Tekken. I don't know.
So Hagen, he just mentioned both those names.
Yeah, so
it's perfect segue.
One of the questions that I had written down was, Mr. Shaq, when did you become white and also gain immortality? So what can you tell us
that's
about
a good
that?
One. All right. Dude, for me, like musically, like I was a late bloomer for music, I guess. And my first two tape cassettes, that's how far I go back, was Poison and MC Hammer. Okay. And they weren't really
which Poison?
I don't know. I can't even remember. It wasn't like one
Did it
that
have Nothing But a Good Time on it? Because that's the one.
For some reason I remember something about Cherry or Pop, or maybe it wasn't Poison. Was it Poison?
Oh, that's Whitesnake had Cherry Pie.
Whitesnake? Cherry Pie. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I listened to that tape that much. I was listening mainly MC Hammer, but I do remember getting a Poison tape. I can't remember what the music was on it. I'm sorry, but
no, I really feel for you. It's very unfortunate when the better of your two options is MC Hammer.
Right.
It's some serious like county fair music. Like
I think that's it. Was that Poison? I'm Skinny Bop.
Unskinny Bop is definitely Poison.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I think.
I remember that
the
one
assist, Wellbore.
Yeah, I was way out there. I had no idea what I was going to say. Yeah, Biggie came, and first time I heard it, my buddy like let someone borrow a CD, and I heard it, and I was like, "What is this? This is great." And before that, it was Domino and a little bit of Snoop and Chronic or whatever. But once I heard Biggie, I was like, "Oh, this is my guy. I love this guy." And so I was a Biggie fan from the first moment I heard him. And I really got into hip hop music in the 90s. I thought it was great. Me and my friends, we had the whole catalogs full of CDs. And I started actually learning about more music then. And with Shaq, it was very early too. I saw Shaq playing. And I just loved the way he played. Like I'm a 5'9", 10" white dude. And when I play basketball, you would think I would be the center because I'd always play under the rim. I'd back you down, believe it or not. And I would like do like post moves, like hooks and finger rolls, and like a little more finesse than even Shaq, you know. But I definitely wanted to get as close to the rim as I could to shoot the ball like Shaq would, you know. So I could shoot a little further out, but I always thought like Shaq was great because if you use your basketball IQ, you want to get as close to the rim as you can. You want to have the highest field goal percentage shot you can. And I just appreciated his game. You know, I started off a Larry Bird guy, but Shaq was definitely during my teenage years up to older. And it came with the Tekken. Like you had to get a PSN name, and I just thought of Biggie Shaq. There's a lot of guys I think on YouTube that started with video game tags, and that's how I started. So
yeah. Yeah. Nate, what do you think about Shaq's style of play?
Well, the thing is, he plays the basketball, right?
He sure does.
I mean, I'm in Indiana, which is like basketball central. We freaking love it here. I don't know anything about it. I don't watch it. Sorry. I do know who Shaq is, and I know that he had a pizza called the Shaq-a-roni.
Yeah, I know that the first championship they got, I think they had to go through to Indiana. So I would want to get that out of my memory too if I was you, if you were watching.
I will always remember Shaq from the movie Steel, which I actually unironically love. Like, it's not a good movie, but I've never not had a fun time watching it.
Oh, you don't like the part where he gets with the paralyzed girl and goes off into the sunset? You didn't really enjoy that part? I thought it was great.
Actually, I did.
Okay, I love that part. So
I do too.
It's love interest,
like when,
like a lady in a wheelchair. So
the reverse, like they do the reverse footage trick for the hammers sticking to him or being pulled off. I can't remember which it is, but it's the special effects are great. The suit is great. The acting is great.
It's like
it really is a fun.
He's like riding on a rollerblade or something. It's freaking awesome.
I gotta tell you, I've witnessed the suit and I've witnessed some of the acting, and those two things have led me to believe that I don't need to witness the movie. That I think I'm probably okay.
I think Memorial Day, that weekend where we're burnt out and we're just sitting around watching TV after you guys get back from the track, Steel may have to be on the docket.
There's going to be... It's not going to be anything that makes sense that happens that day, I'm sure. So it'll be something Steel-esque.
So let's... Wrestling. You have a lot of wrestling.
Oh, I left the immortal part out. You're right.
You left the immortal part out. So where does that come in? Where does the wrestling fit in?
Oh, man. That came way later, dude. It was like... When I first started like coming on comics YouTube, it was a lot of off screen, like I said. We called it off cam recording, I guess. So the majority of comic YouTubers back then would like focus the camera in a still area. They'd be like, oh, I got this from a garage sale. Here's this book. And they would like show the covers. You wouldn't see their face. You might see their hands, Right. And it was starting to be relatively new, I felt like, for people to be on panel and have personalities and stuff, And my buddy 84 would say, like, hard times, baby. And he started talking like a little Dusty Rhodes thing. And I was like, oh, man, that really stuck with me. I was like, Dusty? That would be funny, like just talking Dusty Rhodes collecting comics, I couldn't quite pull that off. I couldn't do it. So I was like, I do an all right Hogan. So, I mean, I took a little second splice from my buddy, and I was like, I just want to do a whole video doing Hulk Hogan collecting comics and talking about comics and stuff. So I would record myself, and I felt like this is like, people are going to make fun of me. It's going to be embarrassing. This might work a couple times, and then I'll end up stop doing it. And, I did it, and it had a decent reaction. Like all my buddies were like, oh, this is cool or whatever. And I was like, really? You guys thought that was cool? And I was like, yeah. And then other people started like kind of doing other impersonations, and it just turned into a gimmick, And I was like, all right, well, if this is going to be a thing, I'm going to be definitely Hulk Hogan because he's the greatest to me. I thought Hulk Hogan was the greatest wrestler. I'm Hulk Hogan, and I had a bunch of these fake toy belts, right? So I sent a couple out immediately to two of my best friends, 84 and 90. And I'm like, we're the NWO, we're the Click. 90 wanted to be Y2J Jericho, and 84 wanted to be Comic Head. 84, like Macho Man. And me and 84 did a show called the Mega Power Hour. And I just added the Immortal to it. I think it was around the time Immortal Hulk came out, because I was just Biggie Shaq for a long time.
Okay.
And I added the Immortal Biggie Shaq. I just thought, it's a little addition, a little splice, just something interesting, comic oriented.
I was really hoping that you found some fountain or elixir or
I'm
a
good.
salve or
Yeah.
some wizard in some dusty corner somewhere.
I'm ready. My back always kind of hurts. I need that fountain of youth.
Oh wait, that doesn't get any better. I've got that now.
No, it gets way worse. What's your era of wrestling? Like, I was never a huge wrestling fan, but that peak era in the late 80s where there were the cartoons and Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, like that was the era that I watched all the time. What's your era of, are you still watching wrestling, but like what was your entry point?
Oh, my entry was definitely the Hulk Hogan mid '80s.
Cool. Yeah.
But I think I enjoyed it more in the late '90s. Like I kind of had a dip off area, probably around '90 to '93 or so, and I kind of picked up more around '98 till 2002 or so. Um, my favorite's WCW. Whenever the NWO was going on, I love Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hogan, Flair, the Giant, all that stuff going on was really good to me. But it's kind of like asking which party you remember in wrestling better, when you was 5 to 10 or 12 to 18. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that mid 80s era, they were like, because I was the right age too for the wrestlers to actually be real life superheroes. It had that comic book overlap where they really were larger than life and they were like cartoon characters, but it was real. And I mean, a lot of kids in that era, it was just huge. WWF was huge. So we are a comic book show.
Well, that's actually what I was going to ask. Is I was going to ask, like, because I have noticed that a lot of people that witnessed that era of steroided biceps flying into one another in a ring. I've noticed that there are a lot of those people like in our comic book collecting sphere, and I was wondering if that had any influence on what you like to collect, or if what you like to collect influenced you watching that, or if those two things just don't interact with you at all. Like if you just view them as completely separate.
So you're kind of asking if I like wrestling and comic book stuff together? A little bit. I don't really go out of my way for it. Like I'm a Americana comic book history kind of collector. I feel like I'm a Jack Kirby first guy. Like I love all the Silver Age premieres and first appearances from Kirby, and I'm a fan of Kubert and Jack Burnley and Kurt Swan, Neil Adams, the just classic comic caricature style, like even the old stuff too. Like I like it when the comic character looks kind of cartoony. I don't like the modern realistic stuff that much. I do have some comic book stuff that has wrestling with it, just being like a comic book wrestling fan, because it goes kind of, it's not like we just show books. Like we have comic book battles, which is part of my collector club, and another show I go on, The Hunt, and I got a few friends that do kind of the same thing I do at points, like 5, 10 different 15, 20, freaking like guys to imitate other wrestlers. And it's a whole little genre kind of deal, but it don't really influence my collecting too much. No, I don't think. No.
Where do you think you said you're like an Americana guy, and Kirby is like your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
What would you say that's like sort of the center point of your collection? Because like,
yeah,
I guess what I'm asking is like I can describe the stuff that I collect in a couple sentences. I didn't know if you could do something like that as well.
No, not really. Oh, I think it's a pop culture Americana. It's for me, it's like if you would go in a museum and they would show like a display of each generation of comics. It feels like that, like going into a pop culture museum and they're displaying comic books. That's kind of the way I want my collection. I want like those, like, oh, this happened then, this was important then, this is where this came from, you know, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a real. I have a little bit of everything, pretty much. Like I have
Yeah.
FF, I have ASM, all of them, Hawk, Cap. You know, I try to represent all of the important things that happen in comics, except for a few things. Like I'm not much into the good girls and the. I don't have a lot of pre-code, but superhero stuff, that's my wheelhouse.
So you mentioned a lot of artists, a lot of great artists. Is that your major draw to a book, or is it the artist plus you also seem to want, like you said, with history, something that's important, whether it's a key or a first appearance. So do you get books just based on, art, based on
Oh,
art and
absolutely.
story, or based on, what characters show up in it?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Alan. I like keys. I like to see the first incarnations of a character. I like to learn. I feel like if you're going to learn about comics in general, you should start at the beginning and learn the history. You know, so I think that's what brings me to Kirby a lot, because Kirby started a lot of this stuff with Stan Lee. You know, story and art wise, and it makes you start liking other people like Gil Kane and Gene Colan and the early incarnations of these characters we like now or whatever. They were really good. Like usually they do a pretty almost my favorite is the first appearances. Like you look at a FF52, a first Black Panther. I don't know if I like any other book better than that from Black Panther. I think that's a great cover. He looks awesome. You know, so a lot of the times they get it right the first time, and it just kind of blows my mind. You know, AF-15, look, that's like Spider-Man's go-to. You know, like it's a freaking masterpiece to me. So I don't know, man. I got a lot of respect for the founding fathers and the generational talent that we've had through this comic book stuff. You know.
Yeah, I think it's like looking at your wall behind you, you can see that you've got these important books, and it's just it's interesting the way that different people collect. And I like that you say history and Americana, because like it's there's also a lot of us, I think, that kind of feel like we're archiving things, or that we're understanding where the books came from. Like you said,
That's how a lot of us
story
rationalize that illness. Yeah.
yeah, it's what shut up. So but it's just the hobby, there's so many different ways to collect, and you seem to have really keyed in on keys, but specifically you seem to be more Marvel than DC, but you do know a lot about DC. You posted one of my favorite books just the other day when James Gunn did his Man of Tomorrow, because it was the Lex Luthor power armor, and the first appearance of that is that Action 544, and I put it in the thumbnail. That's a book that I've been sitting on for a while, and I've picked up a couple of copies because I think it is going to be a significant-ish key.
Yeah, I've been doing speculation for the last two and a half years maybe, and it's really fun to like put yourself out there and put yourself on the line to be like, this is what I think is going to happen down the line. A lot of times you're wrong, and some of the times you're right. And we just have this like fun stuff, like me, TM, Alan, Matt, even Choco gets in there, Bleecker Street, my buddy D Runk. Now, which side do I like more? Primarily, I'm a Superman fan. Like Superman's my favorite all time. Do I have more Marvel books? Probably yes. Probably more ASM than anything, honestly. But that's just the way it went. You know, the books that I'm like going towards are like some of the hard ones to get. So it just happens that Spider-Man has a lot of those kind of books. Superman, I knocked those out early, like the Dark Side and the Parasite. I mean, there's not a bunch of kind of tough books to get from Spider-Man, or Superman, sorry.
No, there's really not.
Yeah, like silver and bronze, fairly easy to get those. Now, if you're talking Golden Age, DC's it. Like, if I was a Golden Age collector, I would probably have a lot more DC, and which I do have more gold DC than anything. But yeah, for like the wheelhouse, I'm starting in Marvel. Captain America is my favorite from Marvel. Superman by far is my favorite, and I do have a decent representation of Superman comic books. I think like I've had about 40 to 50 10-cent Superman. I've gotten rid of some of them to get bigger Superman books.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what I do. I'll get little books and I turn them into big books. I might have to sell 300-400 books to get one or two. That's fine with me. I got to experience those books for a little bit, and I got what I really wanted at the end of it. So it's a fun hobby. It's one of these hobbies where you could use your brain to actually get somewhere, and you learn so much stuff from like hard to find books and different collectors that like different things. Like I've sold Dave Stevens books, I've sold Adam Hughes books, I've sold outlaw indies. I've sold all types of stuff I wouldn't know about unless I was trying to get to a goal. So you end up picking up a few things,
So that's an aspect of the. Ooh, I'm getting feedback from something.
It's the microphone. It's been acting weird lately. I'm sorry.
I think it's better now. But that's one aspect of this hobby that Nate and I do not have any knowledge of whatsoever is specking. And so I was curious because you learn about something new. You're curious about the extremes. What's a book that you've said like people should get? What's a book that you've spec'd on that you've really like been proud of that you were able to suss out? And then what's one that maybe you were not so proud of that you tried to spec on?
I got this one book. I think it's called Spectacular Spider-Man. I can't remember the issue number. I didn't bring it or think of it before now. It was on my top 10 stairs covers. It's the first time that Spider-Man had a black man as Spider-Man. Okay, and to me that's kind of cool because I collect like first black superheroes and stuff like that. And for the first time Spider-Man to be like a black dude, it's kind of like a solo one of. But I've showed that a few times. It's never really clicked or got in anybody's wheelhouse, I don't think. A book that kind of did get some legs that I spec'd on was Sentai 5. Now, Sentai 1 is the first Power Rangers, I believe, right? And Sentai 5 is supposedly the prototype of Mothra. But it's also, oh yeah, and then it's also, I think it's the first VR Troopers with the early.
I remember that too.
Yeah, so it's just like this bunch of stuff going on. But a lot of these books that we find and figure out our first appearances, they don't have keynotes. People don't tell you this is a first appearance. It's like the Roger Rabbit we were looking at. I thought the second issue was the first because it was the first solo story. And the first one was a movie adaptation. So the second book was the money book too, which was strange. But I guess the movie adaptation was number 1 and that was number 2. So I guess that's the first. I mean, we don't have the keynotes from, and we don't go running to Key Collector and say, hey, you need to put this in. So there's a lot of weird books that, there it is, Spider-Man 35. Thank you, Himbu. Yeah, I've pushed that book a bunch of times, and I figured people would get into it. It's a cool cover. It's a cool story. And that's one of my favorites because I don't hear a lot of people talk about that one. So there's just a few of the books that I kind of bring up in my spec, yeah.
That's cool.
I'm
right
on the Peter Parker Spider-Man.
I don't know what issue it's in because I have it in a Treasury edition, but there's a Batman story where Bruce Wayne is like got kids at a camp. They're sitting around a campfire and they're all telling stories about times they encountered Batman. And one of the kids is like, says, no, Batman's a black guy, because he's a kid from the city there telling the story, and it's all the kids imagining, kind of like the same thing that Himbo is saying about Spider-Man here. So I wonder if that's the first time that Batman was shown to be, even though it's an imaginary story or whatever. I never thought about that as being a thing you could hunt down. That's kind of a cool thing.
Well, I do think that Stan Lee wanted to do that too, so I would be interested to see if Stan Lee did it before then, but I'm not sure when that story is, the one you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, it's around.
Yeah, that's
if I find it, I'll send you a picture.
You think of all the times it happened, and then you kind of like start looking at the dates that came out. That's kind of how we like me and TM will sit there and just think of things to look up. Like I wanted to learn the first Frankenstein. When was Frankenstein first in comics? Big monster character. I still don't know when the first Dracula is, but I think we narrowed down Frankenstein to Prize Comics. I think it's 6 or 5, and it's also the first Green Llama. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it's like some of these books are just tough to get because they come with other characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially in those older, like, the Golden Age books were 64 pages and each story was maybe 8. So they crammed a lot of different characters in there.
Yeah.
Did you bring books? I mean, did you bring things that you wanted to show today? Well, let's take a look at that.
All right. I could show a book I got most recent. I had these stupid MacBook Airs. They only have 2 ports. I don't know if you ever used Apple computers, but the ports on them are horrible. I don't want to buy like a multi-port to push into it, but whatever. I just unplugged my camera and I had to charge it. But I got this one recently.
That's cool.
Very cool.
Little Nightwing action. I've been waiting a while to get this. I love this cover. I don't have much big Perez stuff, but yeah, I finally knocked it out. I'm getting a lot of sorry, go ahead.
What's the significance of that issue?
Oh, this is the first Nightwing.
The disco.
Mm-hmm. And Jericho. I don't know if it's 2 different. I think it's 2 different characters. I think the guy with the blonde hair is Jericho. I've never read this, but it's also the origin of Deathstroke, I believe. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this book.
I think Nightwing should bring back the high collar.
That disco costume is so good. There's I think it's a McFarlane figure of the disco Dick. It's pretty good.
I would imagine y'all both have this book, or at least one of y'all, right?
I don't have it. I don't have much Teen Titans at all from that era.
Okay.
I have not gone down that rabbit hole yet.
Well, I know you guys are big DC guys. You guys, do you guys vote? You are. Okay.
I am.
Hagen's a Cap guy, which I appreciate, and you're a Superman guy. So you're both in my wheelhouse. I like
exactly. Both. Yeah.
So that was one of the newer books I got.
Your suit, Dick.
What's it say?
Leisure suit, Dick.
Here's my favorite character, modern, is
oh wow,
old Deadpool guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love me some Deadpool. What did you guys read the Batman Deadpool Batman?
I did. I actually really liked it. I thought it was pretty well done. I did.
Everything pisses me off for some reason. They beat up Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like,
I only read it the one time, and I thought it was okay. I don't feel like they let Deadpool get he wasn't owned or anything. He was definitely Deadpool, but they didn't let either character really get too beat down.
Nah, well, it didn't take much. It wasn't much of a fight in either one of them. It was just It was like, okay, Batman threw some bat darts or whatever the hell they are and got in his arm, of Wolverine, and it was like, "Oh, you got me, bub," or so, just like, come on, like all the Deadpool stuff I read, it's like a, some let's fight, let's
Right.
see how good you are, and it was none of that. It was just like,
it sounds riveting the way you describe it.
It was. I would say the thing is, it's not Batman versus Deadpool. Like they have a
Right.
little, they have a little spat and then they're teamed up. Like, so it's not like it's Marvel versus DC. It's not legit fights.
no, it ain't. No, it should have been like
So
they're together in this or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
should have been Batman meets Deadpool. That would have been more a title that was more honest, but probably wouldn't have got people as excited.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. This is Jack Burnley. I started off being a Kurt Swan homer for Superman because he was Superman's go-to in the Silver Age.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then I kind of evolved, and I was like, "Ooh, Win Mortimer. Who's this guy? Let me get some of that." And I love some Win Mortimer. And my buddy, shout outs Doc Mancave's comics. That's my OG. I learned most of my Golden Age stuff from Doc Mancave's, I would say. And he sent me a Superman 23, which Jack Burnley was the cover artist. And ever since then, I've been hooked. So here's another.
Oh, yes.
Jack Burnley.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What a great cover, man.
He's
reading a Batman comic.
I know it had a chance to be an Infinity cover, and they just said, we'll go Batman.
Yeah. I just love it. Like the shears are breaking. Like, what's this poor barber supposed to do?
Yeah. I like that Superman's reading a Batman comic. There's some clip or some like panel where they each say that the other is their favorite superhero, and I think that's really sweet. So I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for whenever people ask me who my favorite Superman artist is, I say Jack Burnley now. I really do. I think after I've learned all the stuff he's done, I just have a higher appreciation of him now. Schuster's good too, but Burnley was very polished. So
it really is wild to me how established and cemented that Superman look and costume was from almost the very beginning. Like, any changes they make, it always ends up coming back to that original design. The Jim Lee collar didn't stand. What with is that a clear backing board?
Yeah, it was. A little ever ready ad. That's all.
Cool.
This is unfortunately is not a book you would want to take out of the Mylar because it's very chippy. You can see at the bottom what kind of paper you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So I unfortunately was like, hey, I got the book. Let me see if it's complete. And I took it out and I was like, oh, what did I get into?
Mm-hmm.
And, I was like, I'm not going to flex or pry at this at all. I just shoved it back in there. I was like, complete, incomplete. I got a good deal. They told me it was complete. I'm gonna go with it. So
yeah, that's an awesome book, man.
Yeah,
that's one that I just smile every time I see it on somebody's wall.
Oh, I got a good one right here. You like this one too? This is a oh well, shit. I might as well go to my other Jack Burnley I love. All right, here we go. Here's the book I was talking about, Superman 23.
Oh, whoa, that's a big book. Very cool.
I love the choice to swim.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm going to do this slowly and deliberately. That is just great.
My buddy Steppo recently got like a 6.0, and I think I would help. I would say I influenced that a little bit, maybe, because I would always show him this, and I'd say, "This is my favorite Superman cover, and I think this is great," and shit like that, But
it's great.
Man Caves was the best when he sent me this. I didn't have hardly any books, and I got this book, and it just felt like, I actually have the video of me getting this A-OK, and I compare it to like going numb or getting high the first time. You know, like it was unreal.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
And yeah, I didn't think about what Matt's saying here, that Superman didn't actually fly in those early issues.
No,
so
he didn't.
he was, yeah.
I didn't think about that either.
yeah, and I just love Jack Burnley's Superman. I mean, it's very like it's not like the anatomy, you know, like the muscles and the you can see the little stuff in his neck going and the facial stuff. He actually looks pissed. You know,
Right.
like there's not many Superman faces where he's just pissed like this either. You know, it's like
Yeah, there's no mistaking the intention on that dude right there.
they're terrified. They're like he just took out
yeah,
a destroyer ship. You know,
I love that. I love the it's like, yeah, a little bit of a horror movie. With that expression where they're terrified as he menacingly comes towards them. I think it's great.
so yeah, those are a couple of my favorite. This is one of my biggest books. I kind of talk about the same stuff. I'd like to try to switch it up on here. I usually show the same books on almost every channel because it's like, well, I might not be here for a while, so let me make sure to show my favorites. But I'm gonna go a little different. I got this one recently too. It's been 129. You know, pretty cool.
Very cool.
Great cover.
You know what's cool about this one is like until I got it in hand, I didn't realize that it's inside of an ice cream parlor.
What? Oh my gosh.
Oh, it totally
Shakes
is.
and Sundays. They're at the DQ throwing down.
Yeah, I've seen people review this, but until I got it in hand, I didn't know that they were still in the ice cream place, you know, so it's kind of neat.
That's great.
Did the X-Men go out for ice cream in their costumes and then get jumped?
I hope so.
I do too.
It's a weird story. They're like courting Kitty Pryde, I think. They're like, come to the X-Men. I think that was the main point of this. So yeah, that's what you do with little teenage girls. You take them to a restaurant. You're like, come join our team, you know. So yeah,
Come be on our super team. We get ice cream all the time.
I'm actually like, I saw your other episodes, and you guys kind of like, the focus ain't just on the guests. So do you guys show stuff too, or I'd like to learn more and hang out, see what y'all are into. I mean, do y'all do that right on this show?
On this show, no, not usually. On this, but on the Tuesday shows, yeah, we show a bunch of nonsense. But the Sunday show, and that's a good segue for focusing on you. The CBC Awards, you are nominated for the big one. You're nominated for the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's the big one I want the most, right?
I was gonna say I've seen you push for that, so I just I reached out to you because you popped up a lot on those awards, and I didn't realize that you'd been doing this long. And you are somebody who's been around in the community for a long time. So I mean, just congratulations on that, because it's like I think it's wild to get nominated, but to end up as a finalist is also like just crazy. So well done, man, because you've got a few.
Right. I give all the thank you, JSS. I give all the credit to all of my buddies that hang out with me and stuff. I jokingly call my channel a network because I do different types of shows, and I like to have certain people on and stuff. Like the Friday show is kind of loosely connected to mine. I think I was doing the Friday hangout before Alan. I'm sure Alan would argue that to the end of days with me, because Alan loves to argue and shit like that. But
He does?
Oh yeah, if you never knew, but especially about first appearances and stuff like that, you know. So, Alan, out of everybody I've ran into in this comic book thing, he's put up with me more than any of them somehow. Like, I'm sure it'll end at some point, you know. Like, But somehow, like, Alan has the most patience of everybody. Shout outs to Comic Collector Geek. I don't know how all the other channels haven't stole him from me yet. You know what I mean? Like, to this day, like, I'm one of the few channels that have him come to their channel.
Yeah.
He's such a freaking blessing. Like, why don't other people do this? I don't understand.
He loves to go to your Friday show. Like,
Does he? Does he tell you?
does.
Yeah, all right.
Because every Friday it's we're doing one round because I got to get to Biggie's show after this. Every Friday. I'm not joking.
No, I know. I've heard you say it. Yeah.
They're ready to go. You know?
He's a very respectful guy, man. Like at first it was like we was going to like flip flop. We was going to go. Some nights we'll go over here. Some nights we'll do it on yours, stuff like that. But it ended up being, every week we would just do our own. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I think you should do that. Absolutely. And I had Stepper over on my side for a little while. And I don't think I hate that he has to do 2 full shows. It's like 2.5, 3 hours. But Alan's so dedicated and loyal, like he wouldn't want to miss it. And I don't get half the views, not even a quarter of the people in chat. I wish I could. I'm working on it. I try every week, but yeah, he's such a nice guy. And yeah, Chonko and Matt and Bleeker and a few other guys, they'll pop on. And yeah, I give all the credit to them because they brought me up a lot during their nominations, and they would say Biggie for Hall of Fame. And at first you hear that, you're like, wow, out of everybody, there's only five spots for that, and to me, me and John are really the only ones that's like community active,
Yes.
So it's really
the other channels are big channels,
bigger
channels.
I don't see Comic Book Sal. I don't see the Near Mint guy. They both have 100,000+, but when's the last time you seen him in a chat? I mean, I'm not trying to start any drama or whatever. I know that Sal is more frequented, and a lot of my friends actually watch Sal. I think their channels are great, but I think that I definitely am community centric, and we'll see how it goes. Win, lose, or draw. It was very nice of people to nominate me. I appreciate it, and we'll see how it goes. I'm in 4 other categories. Me and TM are doing spec, best show, best live, engaging. There's a few, so I'd be happy to win any of them. But Hall of Fame is definitely the one I'm like, if I could win Hall of Fame, you guys would never shut me up. I'm just going to seriously.
You'll be wearing that award on a new chain around your neck.
Yeah. I'm like, are you Hall of Fame? Or do you have anything you could say about this? Like, no, I'm Hall of Fame, not you. Like, it'll be me, Comic Tom, Bueller, and Jim Mint. That's all you get. I think
that wrestling persona would really take over at that point, I think. So yeah, I mean, anybody who hasn't voted, the awards are still open. I think I just saw 3 more weeks to go on voting. So a lot of cool channels to check out this year. And then my friend Chris here brought up something that I do think is important, that, these, and you said this earlier, Biggie, like these chats, these hangouts are where I get to see somebody that, is new to me, but I get to see how they're interacting and see if I, like you said, see if I vibe with them. And that's what leads me to other channels, is when people have people on who I maybe don't know, because I'm with Chris. I don't always trust the algorithm. Sometimes it suggests somebody and I just don't click on it. Maybe I should, because that means there's somebody out there seeing one of my videos and they're not clicking on it.
Yeah, you guys are lucky that you guys have each other. It's kind of hard to find like a good buddy to.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, buddies. That's what we are.
You guys love each other. Cut it out, man.
We do. I don't know how we got so lucky. We just, but like you said earlier too, like you start out, and you're kind of in the trenches with people who started at the same time you are. And I see that a lot, like Chonko and Rich, Big Nasty Comics. They're kind of been working together, but it really is like the buddy system is helpful. And you have an entire network of people who adore you. You really do.
I take a lot of pride, like the last Friday show, right? Having Alan and Man Caves on my channel, like Man Cave pulled out a cap too, uh,
Wow.
crazy history. It might be the only round shield, like just so cool to see. And Alan, he's got every dang book. So any show Alan's on, you're lucky. And even Steppo and Man Cave, like those three, man, just forget about it, dude. Knockout guys. And all me and my buddies try to keep up with these bigger collectors. And shout outs to Bleecker Street. He does the Sunday church. And he was one of the first guys that kind of buddied with me after a lot of my buddies are just gone. Like the guys I started off with, I messed with Discovery Bay in '84 and this and that. I hung out with DJ Lynx for a little while on the rap battle stuff, and it just don't end up meshing, and you just keep progressing. And the beginning's the funnest, I think. The first couple of years, you're just like, it's like a new car, everything's fresh and clean. And
Wheat. We're still in the new car stage, Hagen.
I think so.
We're still honeymooning.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, well, we are coming up on 10:30 when all three of us said we kind of have to be out of here today. So, which normally we don't wrap things up this quick, and I could keep talking if I didn't have obligations. Real quick here though, you do so many streams. My phone will show me, and it's always like at times like I'm not home, so it'll pop up and say Immortal Biggie Shack, the 2 to 4, Immortal Biggie Shack, the No Ma'am Hangout. You stream a lot through the week. Like, do you think you stream like 3-4 times a week?
The 2 to 4 was meant to be 4 or 5 days of the week, just a quick little pop in for an hour. And the No Ma'am, it's kind of a joke. It's like, honestly, like if my girlfriend hears a girl on panel, she's like, oh, you're hanging out with a girl, and I'm just like, she wouldn't care if I told her ahead of time, but she gets a little jealous of me just hanging out with the boys, even, like spend time with me, and I love her for it. So I try to respect everything I can. She ain't on the internet. She ain't a little Gabby girl like I am. So, I think it's pretty funny, but I pumped a lot of content this year, and thank you to TM Nerdy. I'm surprised I probably brought him up 20 times, but TM Nerdy helped me a lot with a lot of the shows. And I worked on everything, man. I worked on spec. I worked on the comic book battling. Did a little bit of art. Did a bunch of stuff, but I can go on and on. I really thank you guys for having me on. I think you guys are fantastic. I feel like you're a little extension of a lot of my friends, so I consider you guys good buddies. So I appreciate you having me on, and maybe I'll get you on my show one of these days in the future, and we'll hang out.
Yeah. More. Alan keeps saying to come on the Friday, and I would love to. It's just like you said earlier, that's like 4 hours of streaming.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, and I got to do family time too. But I'm gonna find a time to make that hangout one night just to do it. I can do 4 hours. I can wear a diaper one Friday. Do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about, Biggie, before we go?
Well, Chonko's my world banger champion right now, so it's a new championship we brought to the Collector Club, and we do art, we do trivia. And I'm making it like an Olympics kind of deal. I'm always tinkering with comic book battles. So yeah, he's my new Hogan or whatever you want to call it. He's my go-to guy for now. So just looking for good battles. I'm sure Alan will put him to the limits, and Matt and whoever. So yeah, Friday night, Collector Club. I'm gonna do a Biggie Shack Commandments very soon. It's only 5 books. And me and TM usually do it together, and we'll do some more speculation. Just stay tuned, guys. 2 to 4, No Ma'am, all that stuff over on the network. That's about it.
Very cool. Tuesday night on my channel, we've got the FOMO Squad and No Plan. So that'll be great. Don't miss it.
Just as God intended. Thank thank you guys very much for coming on and hanging out and talking for a little bit this morning. Thank you guys to everybody in the chat that was here.
Oh my gosh.
You guys
You
are
guys
the
are
best.
the best.
And we
So
will
cool.
see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
All right. Have a great Sunday, everybody.